Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios, where tonight the Vikings are getting ready to take on the Prairie Farm Panthers. Rick Olson here, and soon I'll head over to the school to join Dan Petchow as we're getting ready to bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's non-conference game right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Coming up on this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Prairie Farm Panthers and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Sarar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready to have some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where Dan Petchow and I are getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls basketball game between the Prairie Farm Panthers and the Colfax Vikings. The Vikings are looking to up their record to 2 wins and 1 loss against a much taller and experienced Panther team. Now, last night, the Vikings took control early and cruised to a commanding 74-49 victory over the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. The Vikings were able to utilize a stifling full-court press to force numerous turnovers by the Wolves. In addition, the Vikings seemed to have found their collective shooting eye as they canned 9 three-pointers and got scoring from 11 girls. Leading the way in scoring for the Vikings was junior swing forward Madison Barstead, who had 2 three-pointers, 3 field goals, and was 6 of 7 from the free throw line for a total of 17 points. Other leading scorers for the Vikings included junior forward Emily Bertram Schofield, who added 9 points, freshman McKenna Shipman, who contributed 9, Addison Olson tallied 8, and Marissa Harmon added 8. The Vikings will need that hot shooting and stifling defense tonight if they expect to be successful. For Prairie Farm, tonight's game is their 2020-2021 season opener. The Panthers play in the Central Lakeland Conference, where last season they finished in 2nd place right behind undefeated Clear Lake, a team which handed the Vikings a 43-41 nail-biter last year. Last season, the Panthers finished with an 18-4 record overall. Now, the Panthers bring a definite height advantage into tonight's game. The Vikings average about 5'6" across the board, while the Panthers return all 5 of their top scorers from last year's team, and 4 of those 5 run 5'9", 5'9", 5'8", and 5'8". Leading the way for the Panthers is 5'8" senior swing forward Michaelin Christensen. Christensen averaged 17.5 points per game last year, while shooting 28% from outside the three-point arc. Along with Christensen is 5'9" sophomore guard Marnie Call, who added another 13 points per game. 5'8" senior swing forward Aaron Bates also contributed nearly 11 points per game. The Panthers also utilized their height to big advantage by out-rebounding their opponents by an average of 33-14 last season. Now, coming up next after this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Courtney Sarar on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Today we're talking with Viking girls head coach Courtney Serrar. And Coach, the beginning of the 2021 basketball season has been one to deliver some mixed results. However, the schedule makers gave you no time to dwell on the past, as tonight the Vikings take on the Prairie Farm Panthers. This is the season opener for the Panthers. So what can you tell us about the Panthers and what special challenges do they present?
Prairie Farm is a very, very good team who was very successful in Division 5 last year. They return all 5 of their very long, very tall, athletic starters. It's going to be a big challenge for us tonight. So they play a very aggressive 1-3-1. So, we're going to have to move the ball and make sure that we, pass fake and, hit the open shooter and those types of things. But we're also going to have to make sure that we keep their height and their athleticism off of the rebounds as well. So, we're excited for this match. Just, a challenge. I love to play challenging teams because I think it helps you down the road and just, learn from those things. And I'm excited to, play a team that we have never played before. So it should be a fun matchup.
Now, the Panthers are coming off an 18-4 2019-2020 season. They finished second in the Central Lakeland Conference. In fact, the Panthers have 5 straight seasons of double-digit wins. The Panthers, much like the Vikings, have established a winning tradition. So how much does that type of tradition affect a team's play on any particular night?
Yeah, we're both proud programs who are used to winning. So I think, it just gives you that confidence if you can, with any great program and they're used to winning, that's just kind of the expectation. So I think their girls and our girls are both used to that and are very competitive and don't like to lose. And I think it, shows in both of our programs and our style of play.
Now, you talked about how Prairie Farm is tall and lean and powerful. Is that going to require some different players to step up, use some body position to box out and so on?
Yeah, like I said, I feel like height is a huge advantage, especially on the offensive end. But on the defensive end, we just have to make sure that we get a body on somebody, because regardless if, someone's 6'6" or 5'6", you're still going to have to box out. And if you have the proper position and you're doing it correctly, then it should play in your favor. So we just have to make sure we keep them off the boards. And maybe it will change our, driving to the basket a little bit more. We might have to jump stop in the middle and find some open shooters on the outside, whatever it may be. I always talk to the girls about, don't take a guarded shot. So if you can, shoot that little pull up before you get blocked. And then if not, then kick it out to an open teammate. I think that will definitely be an advantage for us tonight. But then too, that goes, if you're going to kick it to the outside, you better hope you're making some shots. And
it's a good example of tonight would be a good night to remember you play defense with your feet, not with your hands.
Yes, definitely. They have a very good point guard who presents some challenges for us. We're going to have to move our feet. She's quick. She makes good decisions. I think she might be one of the best point guards that will play this year. So we have to make sure that we do a good job on her and just, keep her in front of us. That's what I always say is, if you can keep your defender in front of you, we're going to be in a good spot. And if you do require some help, we have to learn to rotate and communicate with each other and just play that team style defense that, is usually successful for us.
Well, Coach Serrar, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings will find a way to get their first non-conference win of the season.
Yes, thank you. We're looking forward to it.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. Tonight, the Vikings have their work cut out for them. They have to find a way to neutralize the height advantage of the Prairie Farm Panthers. As mentioned in Coach's Corner, this will require the Vikings to play defense with their feet, not their hands. Body position can go a long way toward neutralizing a height disadvantage. On the other hand, the Panthers would like to show that they have the ability to play hard and go beyond the state regional finals where they bowed out of tournament play last season. They consider tonight's game the first step toward that goal. So the stage is set for some exciting high school girls basketball, and we'll have it all for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. In just a moment, I'll head out to the school to join my colleague Dan Petchow, and we'll bring you all the action of tonight's season opening girls game between the Colfax Vikings and the Prairie Farm Panthers. All that coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
They're at the free throw line to Addison from 3. She hit it! Addison Olsen with the 3-point.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV proudly presents tonight's Colfax Viking girls varsity basketball game.
Bomb being chased down and finally pulled away by Barstead, who puts it up and in.
Join us as we head out to the gym for tonight's Viking basketball.
Look to Best. Best drives into the lane, puts up a shot, rattles around and in.
And good evening and welcome to Colfax High School, where tonight the Colfax Vikings will be taking on the Prairie Farm Panthers, and the Vikings, it kind of appears as though they will have their work cut out for them because the Panthers have a decided height advantage. But the Vikings are coming off a big victory last night, 74-49 over the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. And Dan is busily jotting down some notes about what he's seeing with the Prairie Farm Panthers. And Dan, what do you see so far?
Yeah, so I think 3 keys to the game tonight are going to be keeping turnovers down. And for Colfax, we're going to have to crash the boards to keep some of these big girls for Prairie Farm off there.
And as Coach Serrar said, they're going to have to use body position and box out and on both ends of the floor, but especially on the offensive end, so they might get a shot at some second chance shots.
Yeah, they got a few girls that are definitely taller than Colfax ones by a few inches, so that'll be a big key to the game tonight.
The Colfax starting lineup basically goes 5-6 straight across the board, with maybe a couple of 5-7s thrown in there. But
yeah, they're going to have to rely on their inside-outside game. Colfax it is. They're going to have to do that and try to get some open three-pointers.
Right, because they're playing against 4 Prairie Farm players that go 5'9", 5'9", 5'8", 5'8". And although that might not sound like a huge difference, 2 inches doesn't sound like a lot to those of us that are just sitting around the house. But when you're out on the basketball floor, 2 inches in height makes a whole lot of difference in reach, and all of a sudden that's a real challenge for a player.
Yeah, that's going to be the job of probably the 4s and 5s for Colfax to really stay low and try to get some rebounds.
Now for the layperson sitting at home, Dan, explain 4s and 5s and 1s and 2s and 3s.
Yeah, so that's kind of newer lingo. Back in the old days, we had our point guard, forwards, and centers. Now we got your 1 is considered your point guard, 2 is your shooting guard, 3 is your larger guard, and then we got your 4s and 5, which are your power forward and your center.
Yeah, in fact, a 3 in the old days would have been called a swing forward sometimes, and then the 4 is your power forward, or you're just straight up forward, and then 5 is the center. So and the Vikings, there's no size difference between any of those 5 positions.
Yeah, so they're going to have to help each other out and box out some of these bigger girls for Prairie Farm.
Hey, we've got a little bit of time before this one gets started. The JV game ran a little bit long. The Vikings pretty much dominated that JV game, and I didn't write down the final score, but it was a no-doubter by halftime. And in fact, I do believe I have it here somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to find this.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it. 52-12 was the final score in that JV game. And the Viking girls looked pretty effective on both ends of the floor, but it was a little different to what they're going to be facing with the Prairie Farm Panthers. By the way, this is basically, they returned all 5 starters from last year's team that went 18-4. So this is a very powerful basketball team that the Vikings are playing tonight.
Yeah, the Colfax is going to have their challenge out, and I think by halftime we'll start to see how this game is going to get played out.
Well, I'll tell you what, why don't we take a timeout while we get ready for this one, and we'll have starting lineups and national anthem and all of that right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? And now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380. And we're back here at Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow, and we are just getting ready for the start of tonight's game. And both teams have gone over to the bench. I think we're going to have the national anthem and player introductions coming up in just a minute. And I'm not sure exactly. I don't see Drew Gibson over here getting ready to do the national anthem.
What do you say there, Rick? Because I saw him at the gas station working today.
Ah, that's why the man's got to earn a living, too.
Jack of all trades.
Yes, he is. And a pretty nice kid at that, too. And speaking of which, we get to watch him play on Tuesday when the Viking boys take on Somerset.
Okay.
But now we're going to take a quick pause for the playing of our national anthem. And we're here at Colfax High School. And Dan, why don't you tell us who's playing in tonight's game?
For Prairie Farm Panthers, they're going to go with sophomore guard Avery Hansen, number 3. And then they're going to go with senior number 11, McKeelan Christensen. Sophomore 13, Marnie Call. Senior number 20, Aaron Bates. And sophomore number 31, Sydney Junkins. For the Colfax Vikings, they are going to go with senior number 10, Addison Olson. Senior number 14, Bailey Bradford. Senior number 20, Marissa Harmon. Junior number 22, Madison Barstead. And senior number 40, Jasmine Paulus.
And those girls, as we've been saying, are going to have their work cut out for them. Hopefully their shooting can stay as hot as it was last night, because they were able to nail some three-pointers and shoot effectively.
Yeah, they seem like last night they kind of got into a rhythm now.
And they started using their bodies to position themselves.
Yeah, now it'll be...
This is going to be a real challenge.
Yeah, 3 games in a week. They're going to hopefully be conditioned enough to handle this.
We'll see how the legs hold up tonight.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's a lot of work to play 3 games plus practice in 1 week. So
hopefully Coach Serrar has everybody ready to go, and Prairie Farm is on the floor ready to go. Marnie Call is going to inbound the ball for the Panthers, waiting for the Vikings to come out on the floor. But they've got Hansen, Christensen, Call, Bates, and Junkins. And they hand Call the ball. And she inbounds it over to Hansen, who brings it across the timeline. Prairie Farm going from right to left. They give it to Christensen, takes it over to the right side, feeds it out to the outside three-pointer on the way, and it's good by Marnie Call. Olsen with the ball, full court pressure being put on by Prairie Farm. She gets it up to Barstead. Barstead takes it across the timeline. Kicks it back out to Olsen. Olsen high, wide, and right, and the ball pass gets intercepted by Prairie Farm. Coming down the floor, puts it up, no good. We have a foul called. Hansen with the shot. And I believe the foul is on Olsen. Yes, the foul is on Olsen. First personal, first team foul. First team foul on anybody. Hansen's first shot is on the way, no good. Prairie Farm on top, 3-0. We're just underway. Hansen's second shot on the way, and it's good. Inbound pass to Olsen, quickly back to Barstead. Barstead brings it up across the timeline. She takes it down the right side, down to the baseline, tries to lay it up. It goes in, basket counts, and she draws the harm. Maddie Barstead takes it almost coast to coast. And the foul is on Sydney Junkins. First personal on Junkins, first team foul on the Panthers. Barstead puts the shot up, and it does not crawl over the rim. Rebound taken down by Christensen, brings it down the floor. She gets it over to Bates. Bates out high to Christensen, into the lane to Junkins. A bit of a hook shot, puts it up and in. And the Vikings quickly back down the floor. Barstead with it. Over to Paulus, over to Olsen. Back out to Barstead from 3, no good. Rebound being chased down by Prairie Farm. Bates with it, feeds it up to Hansen. Hansen drives the baseline, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken away from Barstead, and they kick it out to Christensen. Shot is no good. Rebound taken down by Barstead. Gets it out to Olsen. Olsen up the floor, across the timeline. Over to Harmon. Harmon tries to feed it into the lane, and Barstead kind of got sandwiched. They feed it to Christensen. Comes down the baseline for the Panthers, lays it up, no good. Gets her own rebound, puts it up, no good. Gets a third try, it's no good, and a foul being called on Barstead. Addison Olsen down on the floor. We have a bit of a timeout being called. 6-2, Prairie Farm with the lead, 16:20 to go, as they're going to tend to Addison Olson. And while they do that, let me let you know that the Viking boys are going to open their season on Tuesday, December 8th, when they host the Elmwood Plum City. Well, check that. They're not playing the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. They're playing the Somerset Spartans. And we here at the Northern Light Webcasting Network will carry that game. It will be simulcast on both our audio service and on our YouTube channel, NLWN-TV. Viking pregame will be at 6:55. Live play-by-play will begin at 7:10. Unfortunately, due to COVID restrictions, we weren't going to carry the game between the Vikings and Elk Mound on Monday, but evidently that game has now been moved to a date in January. And so we wouldn't carry it anyway. But we will be back with Viking girls basketball on Friday, December 11th, when the Vikings travel to Glenwood City. Viking pregame will be at 6:55. Live play-by-play will begin at 7:10. Addison getting a little bit of help off the floor. We'll hopefully get a report on what her situation is. Looks like a knee issue possibly with her, but I don't want to prejudge that. So Christensen at the line. Her shot is up, and it's good. 7-2, Prairie Farm on top. Second shot. On its way now. In and out. No good. Paulus with the rebound. Barstead brings it down the floor for the Vikings. Across the timeline. Feeds it down low to Shipman, and they get it back out. Paulus with a three-pointer, no good. Rebound out of bounds, and Paulus' shot just plain went out of bounds. Prairie Farm gets it, and they bring it down the floor. Call with it, comes across the timeline. At the top of the key, feeds it over to the left side to Bates. Bates back out to Call between the circles. Then gets it to Hansen, but she took an extra step, and it's going to go back to the Vikings. Barstead inbounds it to Shipman. Or check that. That's Bovey. Bovey tries to feed it down to Barstead, but Shipman was able to go in and get it. The ball was loose on the floor. Shipman got it, but put the shot up, and it's no good. And Prairie Farm comes down the floor. Christensen with it. Cross-court pass over to Call. Call's shot is no good. Rebound being chased down. Hansen with it. Feeds it underneath, and whistle and a foul. Bates had the shot go up, and the foul is going to be on Jasmine Paulus. It's Paulus' first personal third-team foul on the Vikings. First shot is up and no good by Bates. Paulus comes out of the lineup. Riley Parker comes in for the Vikings. Bates' second shot is on the way. No good off the front of the iron. Christensen gets a rebound but bounces it off her foot. And Bovey picks it up, brings it across the timeline for the Vikings. Feeds it over on the left side, but the pass gets intercepted by Prairie Farm. They feed it to Christensen on a solo flight. She puts it up. No, a little hard off the glass. And the Vikings have it. Bovey with it in the backcourt. Now she picks up the dribble. Now gets it across the timeline to Barstead. Barstead feeds it over to Bovey on the right side. She's high, wide, and right out near. She's in a trap. Now she gets it to Bovey, feeds it down to Parker, but Parker can't quite find the handle. Ball gets loose on the floor and picked up by Call for Prairie Farm. Feeds it over to Hansen. Hansen comes across the timeline, drives down the right side of the lane. Feeds it out to Junkins, puts up a three, no good. Rebound taken down by, well, gets tied up on the rebound. Call and Barstead had it all tied up. And we have a timeout being called by the Vikings. So, with 14:30 to go in the first half, it's Prairie Farm 7, Vikings 2. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your...
And we're back here at Colfax High School, where Prairie Farm Panthers have taken a 7-2 lead with 14:26 to go, and the Vikings have the ball. They come across the timeline. Bovey with it, high, wide, and right. Takes it up between the circles. Now back over to the right side. She's double-teamed over there. Gets it into the middle to Bertram Schofield. Over to Bovey. Back over to Bertram Schofield. Long three on the way, no good. Rebound. Shipman tries to save it, but does not quite get the ball all the way back. It's out of bounds, going to Prairie Farm. Into the lineup is Lauren Call, and she's replacing Bates. And Prairie Farm comes on the floor with Hansen on the dribble. Feeds it over to the right side to Junkins. And then over to Addie Christofferson. Christensen, and her shot gets partially blocked by the Vikings, and the Vikings come down the floor. Bovey tries to feed Barstead, but it gets intercepted by Hansen. Hansen takes it down the floor, puts it up, no good. And we have a lot of tying up down underneath the basket, and the possession arrow goes in favor of Prairie Farm. Junkins inbounding the ball, but it gets away, but Hansen chases it down. Hansen feeds it over to Marnie Call, who gets it over to Christensen. And then this is Lauren Call to Junkins. Junkins feeds it to Hansen, tries to feed it to Call on the side, and it gets batted around on the floor, and we have a jump ball being called. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. A lot of scrapping for it going on down there, Dan.
Yeah, good job on both ends of the court here for Prairie Farm and Colfax.
Now Bovey with it. She's got to get it across the timeline. Gets it to Bertram Schofield. Gets it across. Bertram Schofield between the circles. Tries to feed it to Shipman. Shipman can't find the handle, and the ball gets picked up by Hansen. The Prairie Farm brings it down the timeline, and she did a little bit of carry the ball. That was either going to be a double dribble, travel, or carry.
Yeah, she kind of got caught on her hip a little bit there.
They could have taken their pick on that one. So Barstead is going to inbound for the Vikings. She's in the backcourt along with, well, Harmon is in now, and along with Bertram Schofield in the backcourt with Barstead. It goes to Bertram Schofield. They've got it to Harmon on the left side. Barstead now has it. Out between the circles, takes it to the top of the key. Feeds it over to Bertram Schofield. Tries to drive in. Ball gets taken away by Christensen. Christensen takes it down the floor. She lays it up. It rolls around and in. 9-2. Prairie Farm on top by 7. 12:24 to go in the first half. They get the ball across the timeline to Barstead, who's double-teamed. Over to Harmon on the left side. They feed it down underneath, lay it up and in. Tyler Knoll with the lay-in for the Vikings. This is Marnie Call, and then she gets it out high to Hansen. Over to Lauren Call. Back to Hansen. Down to Junkins at the baseline on the right side. Into the lane to Hansen. Tries to put it up, goes off the bottom of the rim. Ball's being fought for down underneath. A lot of battling going on underneath there. To Marnie Call. She drives into the lane. We're going to get a whistle and a foul. I believe it's going to be on Emily Bertram Schofield. And it is. It's Emily's first foul, fourth team foul on the Vikings. First shot is on its way and good. Marnie Call at the line for Prairie Farm. Second shot on the way. It's also good. Barstead inbounds it to Emily Bertram-Schofield. Over to Harmon on the left side. Harmon gets it up near the timeline, then backs it back into the backcourt. Over to Bertram-Schofield. Cross court pass to Harmon. Harmon puts up a three, and she hit it. Marissa Harmon with a three from the left side. 11-7, Prairie Farm on top. Christensen with it. She feeds it out high, and we've got a timeout being called by Prairie Farm. So with 11:15 to go in the first half, Prairie Farm 11, Vikings 7. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
As you check names off your gift-giving list, Dairy State Bank encourages you to shop local as much as possible. The reasons are countless. For example, local businesses create 2 out of every 3 new jobs in the U.S. each year. There are times you could save a few cents by ordering online, but when you shop at a local store, you could be saving your community. Shop local for the holidays. It's more important than ever. Dairy State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
And we are now back here at Colfax High School. Vikings trail 11-7 with 11:13 to go in the first half in a game that so far has been a very physical battle. Lauren Call with it for Prairie Farm. Feeds it over to Hanson on the right side. They get it down low. Shot goes up. We have a whistle and a foul. The shot was by Erin Bates. And it looks like Tyler Knoll with the foul being called on her, and it is. First on her, 5th on the Vikings. Bates' first shot is good. Second shot on the way. It's also good. 13-7, Prairie Farm on top. Irwin gets the inbound pass and tries to feed it up to Shipman, but it goes out of bounds. And so Prairie Farm will get the ball. Hanson to inbound it. She gets it to Call. That's Marnie Call. Across the timeline, takes it to the right side over to Hanson. Down in the right corner. Being guarded there by Harmon. Now they get it in at the free throw line to Christensen. She puts up the shot. It's no good, and a rebound taken down by Shipman. That was a good, powerful rebound by Shipman that time, and she got fouled in the process. So the foul was on Erin Bates. That's the second team foul on Prairie Farm. Barstead brings it up the floor. Ball gets tapped away from her, and Prairie Farm comes back down the floor. And Barstead picks the pocket, feeds it out to Knoll, then over to Harmon. Now to Shipman, back over to Harmon. To Irwin. Back to Harmon. Harmon tries to feed it to Barstead, and the Vikings are having some trouble passing it over the height. Here's where bounce passes would come in handy, I think.
Yeah, Colfax has to take a little better care of the ball right now. They're kind of getting a little ragged, and Prairie Farm's making them turn the ball over.
So Hanson inbounds it to Marnie Call. She comes across the timeline, feeds it over to Bates. Bates out to Call again. Call in the lane, tries to put up a shot. We have a whistle and a foul. Foul's on Tyler Knoll. That's her second personal. That's a 7th team foul. Paulus into the lineup for the Vikings. Knoll takes a seat. Call's shot is good, so now she gets the bonus. Arnie Call's second shot is on the way. No good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. That was Shipman on the rebound. She's got it across the timeline, takes it down the right side, puts on the brakes, gets it out to Harmon, feeds it into the lane to Paulus. Paulus kicks it back out. Three-pointer on the way is no good, and we have a whistle and a foul. That was Bradford with the three-pointer. And down the floor comes Prairie Farm. Hansen has it at the free throw line, feeds it over to Lauren Call, then down underneath, and the ball gets knocked loose from Bates, but we have a whistle. And the foul is going to be on McKenna Shipman for the Vikings. That's her first personal, 8th team foul. First free throw is on the way and good. I believe this is Lauren Call at the line. Second shot on the way. And it rolls in. Vikings have it. And the pass gets knocked out of bounds. It remains Viking ball. 16-7, Prairie Farm on top, 9:24 to go in half number 1. Bradford inbounds it, gets it to Irwin. Irwin's pass gets tipped, and then Paulus hurries her pass a little bit and threw it behind Harmon, and it went out of bounds, and Prairie Farm gets the ball. We have several substitutions coming in.
Colfax having a little trouble here with the press. I'll have to get this figured out pretty soon.
Inbound pass to Hansen. Hansen gets it over to Call. Or check that, that's not Call, that's Christofferson. And we have a jump ball being called because Christofferson got tied up by Emily Bertram Schofield. Possession arrow in favor of Prairie Farm. And we have three in for Prairie Farm. Junkins inbounds it. She gets it to Christensen, whose shot gets partially blocked, and the Vikings have it as they come back down the floor. Barstead with it. Feeds it down into the left corner to Bertram Schofield. Now to Barstead. Gets it out high to Bovey. Then to Bertram Schofield. To Barstead from the free throw line. No good. Rebound. Irwin went and fought for that rebound. Got the ball tied up. Possession arrow in favor of Prairie Farm. And there's some discussion about who has the possession arrow, and they are awarding it to Colfax. Thought maybe there was something strange about that because Prairie Farm just had a possession arrow. Barstead puts up a shot off the front of the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Prairie Farm. Quickly down the floor. They feed it down deep. That's Frizzle. She tries to get into clear territory, and she ended up double dribbling. And the Vikings have the ball. 8:30 to go in half number 1. Irwin feeds it over to Bertram Schofield. Back to Irwin. Feeds it to the free throw line to Barstead. Now out to Irwin and puts up a shot. No good. Barstead tries to put up a shot. We have a blocking foul in the lane. And so Barstead will go to the line for 2, and the foul is on Junkins. It's her second personal. 3rd team foul on Prairie Farm. Maddie Barstead's first shot is off the back of the iron. No good. Second shot is on its way, and that one goes through. 16-8, Prairie Farm on top. 8:10 to go in half number 1. Hansen with it. Feeds it over to Marnie Call, who kicks it out to Bates, puts up a three-pointer, no good. Rebound taken down by Bovey. She feeds it over to Bertram Schofield on the right side to Irwin down at the right baseline, tries to drive the baseline, lays it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Prairie Farm.
Go back.
Down the floor come the Panthers. Hansen has it underneath. Feeds it out to Frizzle, puts up a shot, no good. Rebound taken down by Bates. Bates kicks it out to Call, and the ball goes out of bounds off the Vikings. Hansen has it between the circles. Feeds it over to the right side and right through the hands of Erin Bates. I don't think Bates was really expecting that one. It just all of a sudden snapped right through her hands, and the Vikings will get it. Bovey brings it down the floor. They're picking her up right at the timeline. And then across the timeline to Bertram Schofield. Back to Bovey. Tries the right side. Bertram Schofield with it. Feeds it into the lane to Barstead. Now down low to Parker. Out to Bertram Schofield, who drives to the free throw line. Feeds it over to the right side to Irwin. Irwin drives the baseline, and she got fouled going up. Abby Irwin's going to go to the line for two.
Yeah, good move there by Abby Irwin to get to the baseline and draw the foul.
Irwin's first shot is on the way, and it goes down the hole. 16-9, Prairie Farm with the lead. Irwin's next shot is on the way. It's off the front of the iron, no good. Christensen with it for Prairie Farm. Feeds it over to Call on the left side. Call drives into the lane, and she got her pocket picked, and they call it a jump ball. She tried to go up with a little runner in the lane, and Bertram Schofield just kind of took it out of her hands. Evidently, it stayed in both pairs of hands long enough to call the jump ball. Prairie Farm with the possession arrow. Inbound pass to Call. Call with a three-pointer on the way. Bounces off the rim, no good. Rebound taken down by Prairie Farm. Hansen out to Call. Drives down the right side of the lane. Shot gets blocked. Vikings with a lead pass to Bovey. Bovey takes it up to the hole, no good. Rebound taken down by Prairie Farm. They quickly come back down the floor. Christensen with it. Feeds it into the lane. Ball gets knocked out of bounds by Harmon. So Prairie Farm will have it out of bounds under the basket. Call has it over on the right side, gives it to Hansen, high, wide, and right. Feeds it down to Christensen in the right corner, and the pass in toward the lane got knocked away, goes out of bounds, and it's the Vikings' ball. And we have a substitution for Prairie Farm. Bates back into the lineup, replacing Call. At least Madeline Call. And the Vikings get it into the forecourt. Three-pointer from Harmon around the rim and no good. And here comes Prairie Farm back down the floor. Christensen feeds it down underneath to Lauren Call, and she got two. Lauren Call with the basket. And the Vikings coming down the floor will get a blocking foul called on Lauren Call. That'll be her first personal, fifth team foul. So the Vikings still have it out of bounds. 5:52 to go in the first half. Bovey with it. On the right side to Harmon. Now to Barstead. Back to Harmon. Tries to get it out to Bovey, but the pass is intercepted by Christensen, and she takes a solo shot all the way down and in. 20-9, Prairie Farm on top. Bovey with it to Bertram Schofield. Back to Bovey. Bovey getting trapped over in the corner. Ball gets taken away from her by Christensen. Takes it down, and Bertram Schofield with the block. And it goes off the knee of Christensen on its way down. And out of bounds, Vikings get the ball.
Good job by Emily Bertram Schofield to get back and play defense.
She's been hustling
Yeah, she had 2 girls back with her for Prairie Farm and got the turnover.
Yeah, she first of all worried about stopping the play, and she did that and got a turnover to boot. Irwin with it, feeds it down into the right corner to Shipman. Shipman puts up the shot, and it's in! And here comes Prairie Farm right back down the floor. They don't waste any time. Get it out to the free throw line to Hanson, then over to the right side to Bates. She tries to put up a shot, but she got fouled by Shipman. That's the second personal on Shipman, 9th team foul on the Vikings. Bates at the line, first shot is no good. And the second shot's on its way, and it's also no good. Vikings chase it down. Bertram Schofield with it, brings it down the floor. She quickly across the timeline, feeds it down on the left side to Shipman. Shipman lays it up, no good. Gets her own rebound. Turnaround jumper, puts it up. No, it doesn't want to go down. And here comes Prairie Farm back down the floor. Hanson with it. Feeds it over to the left side to Christensen. Back out to Call at the high, and then to the other Call. Marnie Call with the three-pointer, and it's no good. We have tied up on the rebound, and the possession arrow is in favor of the Vikings. Here comes Irwin over to Bertram Schofield. Feeds it to the top of the key to Barstead. Then to Bradford, puts up a three, no good. Rebound, long pass to Christensen. She lays it up and in. And the Vikings come back down the floor. 22-11, Prairie Farm on top. Bradford with it on the right side. Feeds it out to Irwin, drives the baseline, tries to lay it up. No, she overlaid it slightly. And here comes Prairie Farm. Marnie Call with it, and then the ball gets knocked away. She tried to get it to Christensen, and the Vikings bring it back down the floor. Bertram Schofield with it. Over to Irwin. Irwin's got it high, wide, and right. To Bertram Schofield. To Bradford. Bradford with a jumper, no good. Rebound gets tipped around and scrambled for on the floor. We have a jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of Prairie Farm. And we have a timeout on the floor. With 3:33 to go in half number one, it's Prairie Farm 22, Vikings 11, and you are tuned to Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings. And we're back here at Colfax High School. Prairie Farm brings the ball down the floor. Hanson with it between the circles. On the left side, takes it to the top of the key. Over to Lauren Call, back over to Hanson. Back out to Bates from three, and she hit the three-pointer from the high, wide, and right. And the Vikings come down the floor. Bertram Schofield splits the two defenders, gets it across the timeline. Now they get it down to Bradford down in the corner. Back out to Bertram Schofield, to Irwin. Bertram Schofield feeds into the lane to Barstead. Barstead drives down the lane, tries to pass it out, it looked like, and got whistled. And there was a foul being called. It'll be the 6th team foul. And that foul is on Marnie Call. And they get it inbounded to Shipman, out to Irwin, to Bradford, to Irwin, puts up a three, no good. Rebound, chased down by Shipman, tries to feed it to Barstead. Barstead can't find the handle. Here comes Prairie Farm. This was Lauren Call, and as she laid it up, she got fouled on the way up. Abby Irwin with the foul. That'll be the first personal on Irwin, 10th team foul on the Vikings. First shot is on the way and good. And Call is getting ready for her second shot. It's on the way. Rolls around and off. Prairie Farm gets the rebound, and Marnie Call had it, but she loses it, but the Vikings knocked it out of bounds. So it's Prairie Farm's ball. Junkins feeds it to Christensen, and she puts it up and in. So the Vikings bring it down the floor. 28-11, Prairie Farm on top, and the pass to Barstead gets knocked away. And the foul is on Junkins, and that's her third personal foul, 7th team foul. Barstead goes to the line for the Vikings. Barstead's first shot is on the way. It's no good. Rebound being chased down in the corner. Call with it, and we have a whistle and a foul being called. We're going to walk the length of the floor. And it looks like the foul.
Tyler Knoll, number 24.
Okay. That's her second personal. Okay, it's a third. Okay, thank you, Dan. Marnie Call with the free throw. First one's good. As Prairie Farm is in the double bonus. Her second shot now. On the way. And it's also good. 32-11, Prairie Farm on top. Vikings bring it down the floor. Bovey with it, gets it across the timeline, takes it down into the lane, feeds it across to Parker, lays it up and in. Riley Parker with the basket. 30-13. Coming down is Hanson, and we have a jump ball being called. Bovey got her hand on it as Hanson tried to go up for the leap and leaner, and we get called for the jump ball. And the Vikings have it on the alternate possession. Harmon with it in the backcourt, gets it across the timeline, feeds it over to Bovey. Bovey on the right side to Shipman. Shipman down to the baseline, gets it back out to Bovey. Over to Bertram Schofield, drives the lane, puts it up, nothing there, and ball's chased down. We have a tie-up. The ball with alternate or possession arrow is in favor of Prairie Farm. That was Shipman tying that up as quickly as she did. Minute 34 to go in the first half. 30-13, Prairie Farm on top. Hanson with it. She takes it down the right side of the lane, tries to feed it down low to Christensen, and the pass never quite bounced up as high as Christensen expected and scoots out of bounds, and the Vikings have it. Harmon with it. Still in the backcourt. Cross-court pass over to Bovey. Bovey gets it across the timeline. Feeds it over to Harmon. Harmon looking down underneath. She tried to get it to Parker, but streaking across in front. It got intercepted by Hanson. Fed it to Christensen, who tried to lay it up, and the ball got blocked and out of bounds by the Vikings. And it will be Prairie Farm ball under their own basket. Inbound pass. Goes to Call. Turnaround jumper is up. No good. Rebound taken down by Bertram Schofield. And we have a whistle and a foul being called on, I think it's going to be on Marnie Call. Oh, they're going to say it's on Christensen. That's Christensen's first personal. Well, maybe it was on Call, because Call came out of the lineup, and that would have been her third. Free throw is no good, and the Vikings, or the Prairie Farm Panthers, come back down the floor. Hansen with it at the top of the key. Drives into the lane, kicks it out to Bates on the left side, puts up a three, and she hit it. 33-13. Vikings trail by 20. Bovee gets it down to Parker, back out to Bovee, to Harmon. On the left side from the left corner, his Shipman's shot is no good. Parker trying to get the rebound, and we got a whistle and foul underneath, and I believe it's going to be a foul on Lauren Call. That's her second personal. 9th team foul. 22.6 seconds to go. Parker at the line. Shot is in and out, no good. Rebound taken out by Christensen for the Prairie Farm Panthers. She threw it a little bit behind Bates, and Bates couldn't quite find the ball, and it goes out of bounds, and the Vikings have it. Ball comes over to Bovee. She feeds it to Harmon. Over to Shipman. Back across to Bovee. Bovee drives down the baseline, and nothing there. And a long shot to end the half, and it goes in by Bates. With the three-pointer.
Avery Hansen.
I guess it was Hansen, but I'm looking to see them put the points up on the scoreboard, and they have not done that yet. No, they're waving it off. It was not a basket. Evidently, the ball did not leave her hand in time, so it is not a three-pointer. So the score at halftime, Prairie Farm 33 and the Vikings 13. We have Viking halftime coming up for you right after this brief timeout. You're listening, or you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Time now for Viking Halftime with this week's edition of Viking Profile and the Colfax High School Report. That's all coming up following this brief timeout.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Marissa Harmon, a senior here at Colfax High School, and we'll be chatting with Marissa right after this message.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
We're talking with Marissa Harmon on Viking Profile. And Marissa, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities at school?
Yes, I play softball. So.
And when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of experience have you had?
I can remember, what was it, 3rd or 4th grade. Grew up with these girls, have been playing ever since.
So what's the most important thing that you've learned from playing basketball?
You have to work as a team.
Okay. And so when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some things that you're interested that keep you occupied?
I like to go hunt a lot, but that's a little bit out of the year, so I just got the dirt to do that too.
Okay. Now I've got a few rapid fire questions for you. Just give me the first thing that pops into your head on these. For example, pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cake.
Okay, what kind of cake?
Chocolate cake.
With the real thick chocolate frosting on the top?
Yep, that'll work.
Yeah, that's evil and good, isn't it? So what's your favorite color and why?
Orange, because nobody else orange. I think it's underrated.
Okay, underrated orange. There you go. Now, if you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a hard one. To time travel, get to one place to another place really quick.
Okay. Now, your favorite NBA or a WNBA team?
Oh, God, I don't even know. I don't really have one. I don't watch it.
Okay. Now, your favorite college basketball team?
I don't college basketball either.
Okay. We're talking with Marissa Harmon on Viking Profile. And Marissa, what are your plans for after high school?
I plan to go to college. I'm not Stout or UW Eau Claire, but definitely going to a 4-year degree somewhere.
You might be able to play some ball there too?
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. So how about a shout out to your family?
Hi, Mom and Dad. Hi, Grandma and Grandpa.
So when people watch Viking games, what number do you wear and what position do you play?
I'm number 20, and I'm one of the point guards.
Okay, and that was number 20. It broke up just a little bit as you were saying that, but number 20, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, we want to thank Marissa Harmon for joining us today on Viking Profile, and coming up next is more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Time now for the Colfax High School Report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School.
Colfax Vikings athletics continues with the boys and the girls basketball teams, middle school boys basketball, and they're all underway. The girls Vikings basketball team had their first game of the season with the Bloomer Blackhawks scheduled for Tuesday, November 24th, canceled due to COVID-19. So the girls will begin their 2020-2021 season with 3 games this week. On Tuesday, they take on the Mondovi Buffaloes. On Thursday, they host the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. And on Friday, they host the Prairie Panthers. All of those games are at home and will be carried on both the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. The Viking boys were scheduled to host the Bloomer Blackhawks on Saturday, December 5th. However, that game has been canceled due to COVID-19. The boys will open their season on Tuesday, December 8th when they host the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. We will also carry that game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. The Viking dance team will compete in the Menominee Holiday Classic in Menominee on Saturday, December 5th, and also the Science Olympiad will be held at Boyceville on Saturday. And that's what's happening for the week of November 30th through December 5th, 2020 at Colfax High School.
You've been tuned to the Colfax High School Report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School. Stay tuned. Coming up next is more Viking halftime and then second half action.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
And welcome back to Colfax High School, where we're getting ready to start half number 2. Dan, real quickly, why don't you run through the scores?
Yeah, here's the scores for Prairie Farm. Their leading scorers, Michaela Christensen with 9. We got Marnie Call and Aaron Bates with 8. We got Lauren Call with 5 and Sydney Junkins with 2. For Colfax Vikings, they have Marissa Harmon leading the team with 3 points, and Madison Barstead at 3 points, I guess. Tyler Knoll has 2. McKenna Shipman has 2. Riley Parker has 2. And Abby Irwin has 1.
And that all adds up to the 33-13 score at halftime. Vikings are really struggling in this first half. They're having a hard time dealing with the height difference and passing over. You know, I used to be taught, and I was never much of a basketball player, but I was taught, don't try to throw over the branches, throw under the branches. And so you don't throw it over the trees, you throw it under the branches.
Yeah, give them a pump fake up high. They'll bring their hands up and then bounce pass underneath and get your man open.
So both teams are out on the floor. Vikings will get the ball to start the second half. Harmon to inbound. Gets it into Bovey, and she brings it across the timeline. She gets trapped, but moves it right to the between the circles. Over to Harmon on the left. Back out to Bovey, to Paulus. High, wide, and right. Back to Bovey on the left side, and the pass gets knocked out of bounds. It was knocked out of bounds by Marnie Call. Harmon inbounds it. Gets it out to Bovey, back to Harmon on the left side. Cross-court pass over to Paulus. To the free throw line to Barstead. Tries to drive the lane. Gets it out to Bovey. To Harmon from the corner. Shot is no good. Paulus gets the rebound. Feeds it out to Bovey. Bovey high, wide, and right. Gets it over to Paulus. Feeds it into the lane to Barstead. Barstead's shot is off the glass, no good. Rebound taken down by Bates for Prairie Farm and gets it to Marnie Call. Drives down the lane, puts it up. We have a whistle, and it's going to be a charging call, I believe. And they do call the charge.
Coach wanted blocking foul. Prairie Farm coach did.
Marnie Call is the person on the foul. So that'll be her third. And inbounding it now are the Vikings. Paulus has it, gets it over to Bovey, passes it across the timeline to Bradford, to Paulus. to Bovey, back to Paulus. Paulus gets the ball knocked loose, and we have a whistle and a foul. It's going to be called against Paulus, I believe, for the reach. And that's Paulus' second foul. First team foul of the half for the Vikings. And the inbound pass goes to Hansen. She brings it through the center circle. Takes it down the right side to Junkins. Back out to Hansen at the baseline. And they fed it to Bates, but Bates had 1 foot on the baseline. So the ball's going to go over to the Vikings. Coming down the floor is Barstead. Feeds it down to Harmon, back out to Barstead, to Bovey. Down to the baseline, looking for Harmon, and it gets tipped out of bounds by Prairie Farm. So the Vikings will have it under the basket. And into the lineup comes Marnie Call, in for Bates. Harmon looking and gets it in to Barstead, out to Harmon. From 3 on the right side, it's up no good. Rebound taken down by Paulus. Gets it out to Barstead from 3 on the left side, no good. Rebound taken down by Prairie Farm. Christensen feeds it down to, tried to get it to Lauren Call. It got tipped by the Vikings, but then Call tried to catch it. Still went through her hands and out of bounds. Vikings have the ball. And down the floor come the Vikings. Barstead with it, does a little pump fake and a shimmy shake and gets it across the timeline, gets it to Harmon. Harmon's pass intended for Barstead, got tipped and right into Barstead's hands and then out of bounds. So it's Prairie Farm's ball. A little turnabout's fair play that time, I think. Marnie Call with it through the center circle. Christensen has it, gets it back to Marnie as she drives down the left side. Turnaround jumper, no good. High rebound that time by Bovey. Feeds it down the floor to Harmon. Harmon back out to Bovey. Back to Harmon. They're on the right side. Back out to Bovey. Over to Barstead. Back to Bovey on the right. Into the lane to Paulus. Back out to Harmon from 3. She hit it.
Good ball movement by
Marissa Harmon.
Colfax.
Marissa Harmon that time with the three-pointer. 33-16. Vikings trailing. Hansen with the shot, no good, and the Vikings get the rebound. Long pass intended for Harmon, got knocked away by Marnie Call and then out of bounds, and so the Vikings will retain possession. Bertram Schofield and Shipman into the lineup for the Vikings. Bovey gets the ball, feeds it down to Harmon on the left. Back out between the circles, but the pass gets intercepted and then taken back by Bovey. She brings it across the timeline, taking it down the right side, and we have a pushing foul. A little bit more aggressive hand check than needed to be, I guess. I didn't catch which one, the number.
Number 3, Avery Hansen.
Hansen with the foul. That's her second personal and second team foul. Barstead with it now on the left side. Gets it back up between the circles to Bovey. Over onto the right side to Harmon and then into the lane, and the shot is no good. That was a shot by Shipman, and it was no good. And we have a whistle and a foul called. And the foul is on Shipman. That's her third personal. Second team foul on the Vikings. And Call brings it down the floor. Gets it over to Christensen. And then to Frizzle. Frizzle gets it out to Marnie Call. Call over to Christensen. Feeds it into the lane to Frizzle. Frizzle back out to Call. Over to Christensen from 3. Rattles around and out. No good. Rebound is Bertram Schofield, but she got fouled on the rebound. And that foul is on Frizzle. It's her first personal. Third team foul on Prairie Farm. And the Vikings bring it down the floor. Barstead with it. Now they get it over to Harmon, back out to Barstead, high, wide, and left. Back over to Harmon in the left corner. Back out between the circles now. Bovey, now to Harmon at the baseline. To Barstead from the left side, three-pointer no good. And here comes Prairie Farm back down the floor. Christensen gets it over to Call, and she puts a shot up and in from three. 36-16. Vikings trail by 20. Bovey puts up a shot. It was no good, but we have a whistle and a foul on the putback by Shipman. And the foul is on Christensen. That's her first personal. Fourth team foul on Prairie Farm. They're saying it was on the rebound, not on the putback shot. Harmon inbounds it to Barstead, puts up a three, no good. Rebound taken down by Prairie Farm. Coming down the floor is Hanson. Or check that was Lauren Call, but her pass into the lane got batted away and the Vikings have it. Barstead with it, gets it over to Shipman. To Bovey, puts up a three, no good. Rebound, Barstead fights for it, but can't quite control it. Ball's being fought for on the floor, and we're gonna get a foul on Emily Bertram Schofield, I do believe. Yes, it is. And that's Emily's second foul, third team foul on the Vikings. Junkins on the inbound pass. They get it to Christensen. Back to Junkins in the lane, who turns around, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Here comes Harmon down the floor. They feed it out to Bovey. Over to Bertram Schofield, now on the left side to Barstead, who drives the baseline. Puts it up, no, she overlaid it. And Prairie Farm comes down with it. Christensen takes it into the lane, puts up the shot, no good. We have a whistle and a foul, though. And that foul is on Madison Barstead. That's her third personal. Fourth team foul on the Vikings. Christensen at the line. First shot is up, no good. Barstead and Bovey come out. Parker and Irwin are into the lineup for the Vikings. Christensen's second shot is on the way. Off the back of the air, no good. Prairie Farm chases it down. We have a whistle and a push being called on Parker. That's Parker's first personal, fifth team foul on the Vikings. And Prairie Farm to inbound it. And they get it into Call. That's Madeline Call. Feeds it over to Hanson at the free throw line. Gets it out to Bates. Bates back to Junkins at the free throw line. Gets it out to Call from the top of the key. Puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Parker. Good strong rebound by Riley Parker. Vikings bring it down the floor. Emily Bertram Schofield can't quite find the handle on it, and then they tie it up, and the possession arrow is in favor of Prairie Farm. Junkins to inbound, and she gets it in to Call, Madeline Call. Feeds it over to Junkins on the right side. Cross back over to Call, puts up the three, and she hit it. 39-16. And the Vikings bring it back down the floor. To Bertram Schofield, then cross the timeline to Irwin, and then to Shipman, who tries to drive into the lane, but the ball got knocked away. And back down to the other end is Bates, who lays it up and in. Vikings coming down the floor, trailing 41-16. Bertram Schofield with it. Gets it over to Irwin on the right side. Now to Shipman. Out from a three-pointer is Harmon, and it rattles around and out. Prairie Farm brings it back down the floor. Call with it, feeds it underneath to Bates. Bates puts up a shot. No good, gets a rebound, puts it back up, and is fouled on the way back up. And that foul is on Shipman. That's her fourth personal. Tyler Knoll getting ready to come in. Shots on the way and no good. And here comes Bates' second shot. It's on the way. No good again. Rebound taken down by Prairie Farm. And it's Call with it. And she gets it over to the other Call. Lauren Call with it. They feed it out to Bates in the corner. No good on her three-pointer. And Bertram Schofield comes away with it for the Vikings. Across the timeline, takes it right down the lane, tries to feed it out and got a shove on the process. And let's see, a foul is on Avery Hansen. That's her third personal. And the 15th foul on Prairie Farm. Lauren Call goes out, and in comes Christensen. Inbound pass to Irwin. Cross court over to Bertram Schofield. Back to Irwin. Drives to the baseline. Puts it up, and it goes in. Abby Irwin with a layup coming from the baseline. 41-18, Vikings trailing. And Prairie Farm tries to feed it down underneath, but it's intercepted by Parker. Irwin again tries to drive down to the baseline. Turns around, kicks it out to Bertram Schofield. Her pass intended for Knoll. Prairie Farm got a fingertip on it and almost had it intercepted and knocked it out of bounds. It's going to be Viking ball. Harmon with it. Oh, we have a timeout being called on the floor by Prairie Farm. 10:21 to go in the game. Prairie Farm 41, Vikings 18. You are tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV by calling 715-563-1749.
And we're back here at Colfax High School where the Vikings have their work cut out for them if they want to come back in this one. Trailing by the score of 41-18, but not anymore. Tyler Knoll from about the free throw line puts it up and in. 41-20, Vikings behind. And Prairie Farm, the shot goes up. It sure looked to me like it was blocked, but they're going to say Emily Bertram Schofield got her either with the body or maybe got the wrist on the way through. So Bates is going to the line. Bertram Schofield, that's her third personal. 7th team foul. First shot, doesn't even draw iron. Didn't miss it by much, but didn't draw any iron. So the second shot. It's on the way, and it goes through. 42-20. 22-point lead for Prairie Farm. Harmon with it. Cross-court pass. Does get picked up by Bertram Schofield. Feeds it to Harmon. Tries to lay it up and in. No good. Rebound and second chance shot. Tyler Knoll goes up and got fouled on the way up. So Knoll will go to the line. Foul is on Bates, and it's her third personal. 7th team. And the first shot is no good. A report on Addison Olson, who went out in the first half with a knee injury. It appears to be a minor sprain of the MCL in her left knee. Second shot by Knoll is on its way and good. So let's hope that's exactly what it is and that it gets healed up pretty quickly. Prairie Farm puts up a shot. That was Christensen. It rolls around and off. And the Vikings come down with the rebound. They feed it down court to Knoll. Knoll kind of loses the handle on it, tries to save it, but it goes right into the hands of Prairie Farm. Bates brings it down the floor. Bates loses control. Bertram Schofield grabs it, feeds it over to Bovey, and the Vikings bring it back down the floor. And Bovey backs up almost to the timeline, gets it over to Irwin. Now to Bertram Schofield, launches a three, does not go in, and the rebound taken down by Prairie Farm. They feed it to Christensen, cross-court pass to Hansen. Goes over into the corner. Hansen's in trouble in the corner, and they're going to call a foul over in the corner on Irwin, I believe.
Timeout.
Oh, we have a timeout being called. Okay, timeout called by Prairie Farm. So with a timeout on the floor, it's Prairie Farm 42, Vikings 21, and you are tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Prairie Farm inbounds the ball following that timeout. And the shot from Hansen is no good. She chases down her own rebound. Gets it to Christensen. Back to Hansen in that right corner. Then back out to Call, and the ball, she can't quite find the handle, loses control out of bounds, and the Vikings have it. Bertram Schofield inbounded to Bovey. Back to Bertram Schofield. Back to Bovey. Back to Bertram Schofield. Takes it across the timeline. Back to Bovey. Over to Irwin. Irwin drives the baseline, puts up the shot. It does not go. Prairie Farm comes away with the rebound. Prairie Farm had excellent rebound position there. They get it to Christensen. Takes it to the free throw line, out to the top of the key to Call. Her shot is up. It's no good, and it's out of bounds, and it's going to be Viking ball. 8:20 to go in the game. 42-21, Prairie Farm on top, and we have a number of substitutions for the Vikings. Barstead into the lineup, along with Bradford and Shipman. Bertram Schofield has it, gets it over to Bovey, back to Bertram Schofield. And she takes it herself across the timeline, gets it over to Bovey with a nice bounce pass to Shipman, out into the corner to Bradford, puts up the shot, no good. Rebound by Bovey. Did a nice job of protecting the ball that time. And then the pass by Bradford into the lane got intercepted, and down the floor comes Prairie Farm, and Hansen lays it up and in. And the Vikings bring it back down the floor quickly. Bradford out to Bovey. Bovey to Shipman at the free throw line. She put it in. Shipman with a jumper from the free throw line, and here comes Prairie Farm down the floor. This is Call. She gets it over. Well, the ball goes out of bounds. She got it to Hansen. And they're saying the ball went off the Vikings. So Prairie Farm's going to inbound it. It goes into Christensen. Out at the free throw line. Gets it to Call in the lane. Shot goes up. It's no good. Rebound by Bertram Schofield. And the Vikings bring it down the floor. Bovey with it. Hesitation step. Feeds it down low to Barstead. Puts up the shot. No good. Gets a second chance. No good. Rebound finally taken down by Prairie Farm. Call with it. Feeding it down the floor. Ball's loose on the floor. And it's out of bounds off Prairie Farm, and the Vikings have it. Bertram Schofield and Bovey playing catch in the backcourt. They feed it to Barstead in the lane, turns around. She finally got one to go. She's had some rotten luck from the floor tonight, but she finally got one to go down. 44-25, Vikings are trailing. Prairie Farm with it, Hansen. Out to Junkins, to Christensen, to Call. She puts up the three and hit it. 47-25. And here comes Bertram Schofield up the floor. Gets it over to Bovey across the timeline. To Barstead. They feed it into the lane. Shot goes through by Shipman. And she's going to go to the line for the third. McKenna Shipman. First shot is on the way, and it's also good. 47-28. Vikings cut it to 19. And Prairie Farm comes down the floor. This is Call with it. They feed it over into the corner to Hansen. Hansen drives the baseline, tries to feed it through the baseline to Bates. She goes up with it, and we've got a push being called underneath against Emily Bertram Schofield, I believe. Yes, it is, and that's her fourth personal. That's a couple of Vikings with 4 on them now. 2 of them on the floor anyway. Bertram Schofield and Shipman both have 4. Bates at the line. Her shot is up. No good. Rebound taken down by Barstead. Down the floor come the Vikings. Bovey with it. Feeds it into the lane to Shipman. Out to Bradford. Bradford puts up a 3 and she hit it. Bailey Bradford with a 3-pointer. Bates has it over in the left corner for Prairie Farm. Out to Call. Back to Bates in the corner. She puts up the shot. No good. Rebound chased down by Lauren Call. To Hansen. Now over to the left side to Marnie Call. Back to Hansen. Over to Lauren. Out to Marnie. Marnie drives into the lane. Puts up the shot. No good. And the rebound, it goes out of bounds. And it's going to be Viking ball. Bovey brings it up the floor. Bertram Schofield with it. Over to Bovey. To Barstead, to Bertram Schofield on the left. Into the lane to Shipman. They feed it out to Barstead. Puts up the 3 off the iron. No good. Rebound taken down by the Viking, or by Prairie Farm. They feed it down the floor to Hansen. Hansen puts up the shot. We have a whistle and a foul. 4:50 to go. And the foul is on Jillian Bovey. First personal, 9th team foul. Hansen at the line. First shot is no good. 4:50 to go in the game. 47-31. Prairie Farm on top. Hansen's second shot is on the way. It's also no good. Rebound knocked around. Hansen picks up the loose change and lays it up and in. Now the Vikings bring it down the floor, 49-31. They feed it over to the left side to Bradford. Now they get it out to the top of the key. Ball's loose on the floor. That time Bovey let it get a little bit too close into her body and lost control of the ball, and they end up having to scrap on the floor for it. Bertram Schofield, the inbound. Gets it out to Shipman, puts up the shot, no good. Rebound taken down by Prairie Farm as they lead it down the court. Feeds it over to Lauren Call, who banks it up and in. 51-31, lead back up to 20. Bovey with it. High, wide, and right. Feeds it to the top of the key to Shipman. Now they try to get it down underneath to Barstead, and the pass is a little bit errant, and Prairie Farm has the ball. They bring it in. Call. Marnie Call has it, bringing it down the floor. Call takes it to the right side, hands it off to Christensen, taking it around the top of the key. And we have a block being called, or an illegal screen being called on Prairie Farm. That's going to be a foul on Erin Bates. Erin Bates with the foul, and that's her 4th, 9th team foul on Prairie Farm. And down the floor come the Vikings. Barstead over to Paulus in the lane, feeds it back to Barstead on the other side of the lane, to Harmon. Back to Barstead outside the arc. Now at the top of the key to Bovey, to Irwin. Back out to Bovey. Bovey drives the right side of the lane, lays it up and in. Jillian Bovey with the nice layup. And we have a whistle and a travel being called on Prairie Farm. 51-33, 3:17 to go in the game. Bovey with it. Gets it over to Barstead. Back to Bovey. Back across to Barstead. Now to Harmon. Harmon to Bovey. Back to Harmon. Into the lane to Paulus. Back out to Bovey. Puts up the 3. It rattles around and out. No good. Rebound taken down by Prairie Farm. Coming down the floor is Lauren Call. She feeds it across underneath to Hanson, who puts it up and in. 2:44 to go, 53-33. Lead back up to 20. Prairie Farm steals the ball, gets it over to Hanson, drives the lane, puts it up, no good. Rebound being fought for. We have a foul across the arm by Jasmine Paulus, I believe. Yes, it's on Paulus. That should be her 3rd personal. And the 10th team foul on the Vikings. So Hanson goes to the line for 2. Because they're in the double bonus. First shot is on its way, no good. And we have a number of substitutions coming in for the Vikings. Some of the younger players coming in. Hanson getting ready to put up the 2nd shot. It's on its way. It's going to be way short. Didn't hit any iron or backboard or anything, and the Vikings will get it out of bounds. Aaliyah Reen to inbound, but we have a timeout on the floor with a score. Prairie Farm 53, Vikings 33. You are tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
As you check names off your gift-giving list, Derry State Bank encourages you to shop local as much as possible. The reasons are countless. For example, local businesses create 2 out of every 3 new jobs in the U.S. each year. There are times you could save a few cents by ordering online, but when you shop at a local store, you could be saving your community. Shop local for the holidays. It's more important than ever. Derry State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Want to remind you also that NLWN-TV is excited to announce that in March, we're going to bring you Classic with Soda racing action, as we are going to reprise 7 of the weekend races from the Eagle Valley Speedway with a few added features in there. This will help get you ready for the 2021 racing season. Classic with Soda racing action begins March 17th on NLWN-TV. Vikings have the ball. They bring it down the floor. Irwin with it. She gets it over to Reen. Back to Irwin. Feed it into the lane to Noel, and the ball gets knocked away and brought down the floor by Junkins, who they put up the shot. No good. Rebound being battled for underneath. Another shot goes up, this one by Call, and it doesn't have a chance, and the Vikings bring it down the floor. Irwin's pass gets knocked out of bounds. It was knocked out of bounds by Marnie Call, and the Vikings inbound it. Feed it into the lane to Hajdukovic, but she can't get the shot off, and Prairie Farm comes down the floor with it. And we have a whistle and a foul. Let's see who they call. And it was Aaliyah Reen with the foul. So Hansen goes to the line to shoot 2. First shot's on its way, no good. Second shot on its way. It's also no good. Rebound by Marnie Call. Tries a shot, no good. And Junkins gets the putback, no good. And the Vikings bring it down the floor. Irwin feeds it over to Goodell, who tries to get it into the lane, and the ball gets picked up by Prairie Farm. And down the floor comes Junkins, puts up the shot, no good. Hajdukovic with the rebound. And the Vikings come back down the floor. Irwin takes it down to the baseline. Feeds it out to Goodell. Goodell puts up a 3, no good. Rebound, she goes sliding in to get the rebound. Kicks it out to Hajdukovic, who gets it over to Reen, who then they end up feeding it down to Hajdukovic, and her shot is no good. Prairie Farm comes down the floor. Just over a minute to go in the game, and we have a timeout on the floor. Just under a minute to go. 53-43, Prairie Farm on top, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, just under a minute to go. 53-43. No doubt about the outcome here. It's just what the final numbers will be. Prairie Farm has the ball. Hansen with a shot from the outside is no good. Hajdukovic chases down the loose ball. Vikings come back down the floor. Irwin with it. Feeds it over to Reen. They get it to Knoll. Then they kick it out to Goodell. And the ball gets knocked away, and Prairie Farm has it. They take their time coming down the floor. This is Call with it. Marnie Call. Just keeping her dribble going high and wide, and hands it off to Christofferson. Now back to Call. About 5 seconds to go. They're just going to let the clock run out. And there's the final buzzer. Final score in this one, Prairie Farm 53, the Vikings 33. Dan is busily adding up a bunch of numbers, and we're going to have all that for you on Viking postgame, and we'll have that coming up in just a moment or two. You're tuned to, or you've been tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Viking girls basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame, where we'll take a look back at today's Viking game.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Time now for Viking postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. And now, Viking postgame.
Well, the Vikings took a tough one today. Final score, 53-33, and that would be in favor of the Prairie Farm Panthers. And we knew it was going to be tough going in, and it lived up to its billing. Dan, you have some numbers for us?
Yeah, it was a game of turnovers for Colfax tonight. Here's the let's see here. Points here for Prairie Farm. Their leading scorer tonight was number 20, Aaron Bates. She had, or no, it wasn't either. It was Marnie Call, number 13, with 17 points. Number 20, Aaron Bates, had 11 points. Michaelin Christensen had 9. Avery Hansen and Lauren Call had 7. And Sydney Junkins had 2 for the Colfax Vikings. Their leading scorer tonight was number 42, McKenna Shipman. She had 7, followed by Marissa Harmon. She had 6. Maddie Barstead and Tyler Null had 5. Abby Irwin had 3. And Riley Parker had 2.
And that all adds up to 53-33 in favor of the Prairie Farm Panthers. I'm not sure if we're going to get our coach up here tonight or not. Coach Serrar, I'm just not sure. She's probably having a long talk with the girls in the locker room, so we'll see if she's going to. I did want to mention also the Colfax Middle School boys are going to be back in action next Thursday when they host Glenwood City. And we already did mention to you that on Tuesday, we will be right back here, and we have the Colfax Viking boys as they take on the Somerset Spartans. And that Viking pregame will be at 6:55, live play-by-play at 7:10. You and I were watching a little bit of the Viking practice the other day, and there's some interesting things going on that are a little different than what has been in years past. And so it could be an interesting one to see how that all works out in game situations.
Yeah, Coach Noel has some players doing some interesting things, so that'll be exciting to see.
But in this game, you know what? One of the things I did notice is in the second half, the Vikings played much tougher and took care of the ball much better and played tougher defense.
Yeah,
so they finished strong. I think they've got that to build upon. So there's some things to learn, to build upon, and maybe get out the rack and stretch these girls, get a couple more inches out of them, and hopefully Addison Olsen's knee is not too bad, and she'll be back because they missed some of her ball handling skills. But we'll see what happens. I'll tell you what. Why don't we take a bit of a timeout, and we'll come back with some final thoughts if Coach Serrar isn't coming up, but we'll take a brief timeout and give her a chance to get up here. You're tuned to Viking postgame here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. how
I
loud
know,
that
I
was.
heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon? You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, and joining us is Viking head coach Courtney Serrar. And Coach, 53-33 is a tough one to take, but you know, one of the things Dan and I were just talking about is the second half was a lot different than the first half.
Yeah, you know, at halftime, I really challenged the girls, you know, just forget about the first half and let's just go into the second half 0-0 and see what we can do. And you know what, we tie game. So I think, you know, the first half got away from us a little bit. We didn't make a lot of shots, and we turned it over 17 times. And, you know, we had more turnovers than points first half. So you're not going to win many games doing that.
No, and I think it was a case of the height really did kind of intimidate the girls. And, you know, there's an old adage I mentioned a little bit earlier with Dan that I never had much of a basketball career, but I'm not very tall in stature. And one of the things that I was told is don't try to throw it over the tree, throw it under the branches. And I think the girls might have started to learn that lesson in this game, that some of the lower passes they have a better chance of getting through than trying to pass it through the player.
Yeah, I thought when we got past that first initial wave of defense, we got a lot of really great looks at the basket, but nothing was falling tonight. And, you know, I think once they got a little bit more comfortable second half and realized that, you know, they can go around them, it was a different story. And I was impressed with, you know, just our ability to stay with it. And, you know, we never gave up and gave them a fight the second half. And, you know, I thought it was
going
better.
to be a difficult night. They were double teaming Maddie Barstead, and a girl who had been scoring basically about 17 points a game gets held to 5. And that's an indication that they knew they had a game plan coming in as well.
Mm-hmm.
They knew that you guys are a pretty decent ball club, and yet they had it pretty well planned out as well. And I think the Vikings learned a lot in tonight's game, and let's hope that that can continue.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was our, you know, Prairie Farm's first game, and they looked crisp. And I mean, we looked like it was our third game this week, and we just came out a little sluggish, maybe a little tired.
Third game in a week, the legs kind of go away from you too.
Yeah, you can tell the girls were, you know, a little bit tired, just a little bit sluggish, not on their game. And, you know, like I said, I told the girls, you know, the front of your shirt, my dad built up a great program. You're going to get everyone's A game, you know, no matter who it is. So we just have to learn to roll with the punches and learn from our mistakes and move on to the next game. So
now you did have an injury tonight, Addison Olsen.
Yeah.
What's her status going forward this week?
You know, it's the trainer wasn't, you know, 100% positive about her knee. That she knows that her ACL is intact and her MCL is intact, but they think that it might just be a sprain in one of those ligaments. So she's just going to ice and take care of herself, but I don't imagine her coming back very soon. So I'm hoping she can just, you know, heal up quick and be ready maybe over Christmas break.
And knowing her like I do, as stubborn as she is, she's liable to be back next Thursday.
Yeah, so, you know, we can't lose her, so we have to make sure, you know, that she doesn't try to come back too early and then just hurt it even more. So we got to get her to take care of that. But we had a change in the schedule, so our Elk Mound game on Monday was canceled today. We found out about that. So I'm looking forward for a week full of rest for Addison and a good week of practice for us before our game against Glenwood on Friday.
Well, Coach, I'd say congratulations, but it was a learning experience tonight, and sometimes those things happen. 53-33, and I'll tell you what, let's just turn it around against Glenwood City and get that record even back up. What do you say?
Yep, that sounds good to me.
Okay.
Girls, just, next game.
Well, Dan and I will be back with some more Viking post-game final thoughts, and thank you, Coach Serrar, for joining us. And that'll be right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Oh, hey! Okay. Mm-hmm.
If you love me enough to tolerate my perfect little pets and all their glorious dander, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
And we're back here at a virtually empty Colfax High School gym. Your final thoughts, Dan?
Yeah, it was a tough game for Colfax tonight, but they ran into a really good Prairie Farm team. Prairie Farm's got going places here, and we'll just put this behind and see if Colfax can pick it up when they play Glenwood City next.
And the good news is, a couple of good things. This was a non-conference game, so it doesn't hurt them in any respect that way. And the game on Monday is being moved into January, so they have a little extended time off to get people rested up and get ready to take on Glenwood City in a conference matchup next Thursday, which we will have for you on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. And I should mention, that's going to be a little different way for us. We're going to be doing that game virtually. And so we hopefully will have all of that worked out and everything will work fine, and we'll do the best we can with that.
Yeah, whole new learning experience for us.
It'll be kind of exciting. So for Dan Petchow, this is Rick Olson. Thank you for joining us tonight. Final score once again, Prairie Farm 53, Vikings 33. You've been listening to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.